Okay, so this is a new introduction video. I think it's important for you to hear my voice and see me just at least at the beginning here, so you're not just dealing with a name. I know that's what it can feel like with online courses sometimes. Um, so I'm going to try to keep this short. A little bit about me. Um, My name is Matt Wimmer. I um, I have a master's degree in physics and an undergraduate bachelor's degree in astronomy and astrophysics from IU, my graduate degree from the University of Alabama. And more recently, I did some graduate work at IUPUI, specifically doing physics education research, which is just learning how to teach physics better and new methods and things like that. I've been with Ivy Tech, first in Indianapolis and now in Madison since 2013. Mostly I teach face-to-face physics and astronomy courses. Um, and I teach these online physics courses over the summers. This is my fourth summer teaching these courses. One thing about online courses in general, a lot of times you'll take an online course. That course is put together by the school, by Ivy Tech, by a big committee of different teachers, and then it's sort of passed out to the individual instructors and presented that way. These physics courses are not like that. I've put this course together 100% on my own. Each year I try to do things a little better. Um, so what that means is I can change anything, and if any problems come up, which they usually do, just talk to me about it. Send an email, and I'll think about what to do, and might consider making some changes. Okay, so the first topic is my physics teaching philosophy and why the course is structured the way it is. Um, I guess the place to start is that when I went to college, I was going to be a practicing astronomer first, and then in grad school I switched to physics, and I was going to be a practicing physicist. So at no point do they actually really teach you how to teach physics. You just start teaching as a graduate student, and you kind of learn as you go. Um, so what I'm trying to get to is that I teach physics basically how I learned it, which I think it works pretty well. And basically, as a physics major, every physics class you go in there, the professor works through problems, examples on the board, and then the bulk of the work that you do as a student is in doing problems on your own, which means homework problems. Um, and so if you look through the course a little bit, you'll see that there's a lot of homework problems. There are math problems. Physics is quantitative, okay? Meaning our purpose is to take numbers, any given physical situation that we're looking at, take the starting conditions, apply our methods, the physics problem solving techniques, and calculate something about that system in the future, how an object's going to move, how long it's going to take, what velocity, accelerations, forces, energy, things like that, how those things change into the future. Okay? So you're not going to see, and of course the book, you can read through descriptions of everything, but we're not so much about descriptions as calculations. Okay? So if we're trying to learn about how objects move, that's physics. You learn how they move through the math, through the equations in the process. Okay, and physics is an applied math course. Now, it's not a math course. In a math course, and I did not like pure math courses as a student, where you're just learning techniques and then doing problems seemingly at random, just given information and solve the problem. In physics, everything comes from a physical situation. Okay, a lot of times it's a car accelerating. What's the speed? What's the speed at a later time? How long does it take to travel a certain distance? Things like that. So every math process we use is a specific process. Okay, the kinematics equations, that's one of the first ones in chapter 2 and 3. Newton's second law, when we get involved with forces, each chapter, each type of problem, we learn a specific technique that's then applied the same way every time. Okay. Next topic here. So when the pandemic hit, basically over our spring break, and for the spring semester, basically we had a week to switch from whatever we were doing to purely online courses. You can't do that in a week. We did the best we could, and therefore we, as a group of teachers and individually, I think we came to the conclusion that we're going to be a little more understanding with people in terms of what they may be going through in their life. And I'm talking about students here. Maybe they've been laid off or lost their job, or just dealing with the new situations in life that for things like extensions without penalty and due dates and things like that, we were going to be more understanding in terms of that, and I kind of liked it. Now you got to balance that with, if you give too much leeway, are some students going to take advantage of that? That's always a trade-off. Each teacher kind of has to decide where they are on that issue. So in other words, in terms of extensions, just talk to me about it. Send me an email. And with anything that comes up like that, I go through a thought process on how to handle it. So I'm not saying, we'll take each problem as we come to it, but communication is the main thing. Any problem you have, like half of my job or more is communicating and working through problems. Mostly with a course like this, when it's late on the day something's due and computer's not working, or you don't think you're going to have time, it's that panic that I want to try to avoid. So whatever happens, just send me an email and explain it, and we'll figure out how to handle it. So one thing I've learned over these courses the past 4 years is you have to communicate. It's much easier to handle things when they first pop up, rather than waiting and then all of a sudden you have a problem that goes back 2 or 3 weeks. That's much harder to handle. One other thing, and I'll put this somewhere else in the module, but I want to work on a system, because one of the things we lose when we go from face-to-face to online in physics is, one, as a student, you need to see the problems being done. You just need to see them being done. You need to see how somebody who knows what they're doing works through the problem, and you go, do this and this and this, and this is, you don't do this, and this is why this makes this easier, things like that. Now I have all the example videos in the modules that can kind of take the place of that, but I can't see you doing the work, which is one thing I do in a face-to-face class. Is I'll put a problem on the board, I'll walk around and watch how people do the work, where they get stuck. I kind of know where sticking points are on different types of problems. And that's what I lose here. If I see you do the problem and you're stuck and I go, oh, just do this, just do this, turn this around, whatever it is. I can't do that without seeing you do the problem. So if you are getting stuck on a problem and I want to work out how to do this in the modules, I'd like you to write out what you've attempted, the solution you've attempted that doesn't work, and send it to me, and I'll look at it, and I'll give you some feedback on how the problem should actually go. And I'm going to put that in the module somehow. I'll send out a message about that. Okay, I think that's about it for now. Again, I look forward to working with all of you, and hope we have a good semester.